Hello again, guys, and welcome to the Stay Happy podcast, brought to you by JFR Productions. I'm your vlogging bestie, now in podcast form, and this is your safe space for real talk, feel good chats, and honest moments you won't always find on camera. Whether it's life behind the lens, little joys that get us through, or the things we don't usually say out loud, we're talking about it here. So, get comfy and let's get into it. Hello, guys, and welcome to episode 2. Where has that month gone? Is it just me, or has it literally flown? In this episode, we're keeping it light and having a good old catch up. I'm sharing some of the fun, unexpected, and downright chaotic moments that happen behind the camera. Yes, the bits you don't see in the vlogs. We'll chat about how I come up with the video ideas, the reality of filming in public, what people often get wrong about vlogging, and how I stay grounded when life gets noisy. Expect a few laughs, a couple of confessions, and plenty of love for this little community we've all built together. Think of this one as a cozy voice note from your vlogging bestie, just with a mic and a cat. And I do love to record a voice note for my friends. That's one of the things I often say is my voice notes end up being like a podcast, which is why I thought maybe this is a good thing to do. So I've written down some topics today that I think we could talk about together, and I think we should dive straight in. One of the questions that I often get asked is how I decide what to film and when. I'm actually a very organised person in my day to day life. Everything has lists, everything is pre planned. Um, However, with my vlogs, they are not scripted in any way. Quite often, I might sort of re-record certain parts just because I slip over my words, as you'll see in these podcasts. But ultimately, I just go with the flow. And I feel that's the best way to be because otherwise it can become. The thing is, I want JFR Productions to be professional, but it has to have heart to it. You have to see the bones. You have to see the bits that aren't perfect, you know? And I think that's really important and something I want to keep. And when I come up with a series that I want to film, often myself and Ash, we get our creative hats on basically and think, right, where do you want to go? Where do you want to visit? And we sort of come to a conclusion that way. In terms of vlogs I film at home, those are slotted in around. I've actually got a list on my phone. My notes section on my phone is my best friend. And I've got vlogs right up until April next year, 2026. I feel that way it gives me structure, it gives me something to aim for. You know, there may be a time when I have to take one of those out and replace them, but I'd rather do that than be wondering as week by week passes what I'm filming next. And I mention a lot to my subscribers, you know, my friends, my community. I want to give everyone everything I've got. And that's just who I am and what I am. With JFR Productions, it's my baby. You know, everything is built from the heart. Um, I often mention I throw in little Easter eggs around my videos. So I've already announced my big trip at the end of the year. You guys it may have passed you by without noticing. And I find that exciting because those of you that maybe have worked it out, I know you're going to be like, oh my God, it's that, you know? And I like to keep that excitement going. So, in regards to when we film this, obviously when we visit different countries, there's different times of the year that it's best to go to these places. So of course we slot them in the months that um, is suitable. And then everything else flows around that. I've also got the unexpected moments that make it into the vlog or don't. So I think it's important to keep an aspect of that um, realness in the vlogs. You know, you guys will want to see the moments that aren't pristine. You know, there's been times when the vlogs have gone wrong, and I think it's good to keep that in. Otherwise, I'm selling a lie. you know? So there may be certain things. I don't often keep swearing in my vlogs, and I think, it's not really necessary. However, there may be times when, that is in there. Um, but ultimately, I do like to censor certain things in that sense, just because you don't know who's watching. I've got a lot of kids that are viewers as well. So I want to keep it appropriate to everyone. I actually posted an outtakes video to my socials a few months back now. And that is a series that I will continue to do. It just takes a hell of a lot of time. And obviously, I have to edit I have my own members only channel as well on YouTube, and we've built a great community on there. So I film that content for them, as well as filming, the bulk, the main content for my main channel, as well as this podcast, which I'm absolutely loving, and my eBay shop, my Stay Happy online store. That also is, a big part now of the Stay Happy brand. So it's about fitting it all in. So the outtakes videos, I think they're a nice little bonus, but I wouldn't say they're a main part to JFR Productions. So that series is spread out. But yeah, I just want to keep it real, guys. I don't take much out of my vlogs these days. I keep a lot of it in. In the early days, I did take it out because I wasn't really sure how the world would perceive me. So there were nerves there, a bit of uncertainty. But as JFR Productions has blossomed, I like to put more in because I feel that's what my community deserves. I am actually, whilst we're on that subject, posting onto my members only YouTube channel the Egypt vlogs, the very first series that I filmed for my YouTube channel. I've re-edited them with everything in. So everything that was taken out the first time is in there now. And I can't believe how much footage I didn't put in there. So it was fun for me to look back and edit those as well. We're 3 years on from that nearly, so I'd forgotten about that. A lot has happened since then. So yeah, it's fun for me too. It keeps it fresh for you guys, having these different things whilst trickling in a little bit of nostalgia, which is what I like to do. Hey, so another thing that many ask are funny stories from filming, awkward moments, technical fails, or hilarious behind the scenes with Ash and Nala. So you guys will see me and Ash often laugh on our vlogs, and it's a bonding experience, I would say, for both of us. It's certainly taken our relationship to the next level, which is absolutely incredible. I love that, working closely with him on this, and we blend in our ideas together, and it's a lot of fun. Throwing in Nala into that mix makes it even more fun. As you see, whenever the camera is switched on, she's there. She loves the camera just as much as I do. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I've got so many clips of little Nala, and yeah, I'm really thankful for that. So, one of the things that I want to talk about is the amount of work that goes behind a relaxed vlog. So, for example, before I started this, I don't think I even realized how much work and time goes into putting out one video, one 20-minute video. Now, I'm sure there are creators out there that it's just one long video, they keep the editing to a minimal, but I like to have a little bit more depth to my videos, I guess. So I like the elements of music, I like the elements of a voiceover, I like cutting it to the best bits, I like, you know, making sure it's been preened to perfection for you guys. I remember when I first started, I was using a really old laptop. I'd had it for years. I was using like a free software My first vlogs, actually, I'll let you into a little secret. My first vlogs, I think we're going back to my 30th birthday, my Egypt series. Yes, because it was from then I thought, right, let's step it up a little bit. Those sets of vlogs were actually edited on Windows Movie Maker. Who remembers that? You know, and I just was cutting and clipping and adding the music, and it was taking so much time because that software is so slow. The computer was so slow, but oh my god! And I remember it crashing. Going back to a technical hitch there. I remember the computer crashing and losing my vlog multiples of times, and I'd have to restart it and restart it. And it was after I finished that series that I said to Ash, please, could we invest in another laptop? So he said yes. So we did. And I then invested in paying for a video editing software monthly, which I don't use anymore. I might use now and again. I've since gone on to another one, which works me better. But that back then, I would say it would take me about 12 to 14 hours to edit one video, which is mad, really. But I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that. Every 5 minutes that I edit of a vlog, I will go back and re-watch it to make sure that works. If not, I will change it up. Nowadays, because I recently, it's coming up to a year nearly now actually, I invested in a MacBook Pro, which is super fast and built for video editing. So I now use that, and it probably takes me around 6 hours to edit a 30-minute vlog, which is still a long time. But trust me, when you're enjoying editing it, which I do, that's one of my favourite parts of this. It flies by. Those 6 hours fly by. Sometimes I won't even stop for a drink, which is crazy, but I'm just too invested into that. I have my headphones on and I'm glued. Yeah, and then you throw in sort of adding the, I guess, other elements to JFR Productions, like the social media side. That is like a daily thing that you have to put aside a couple of hours to get done. In terms of the eBay shop, that's another section of that. I pack up my orders on my own. I collect the orders myself. I post them myself. I order them myself. I design them myself. So that is also another job in itself. And throwing in the podcast was just something extra that I wanted to do. But I love working. I absolutely love it. It keeps my mind busy. And when you're working on something that you love, it's on another level, truthfully. I adore it. I adore JFR Productions. I adore you guys as a community. I feel we work together, and I love that. I truly, truly love that. Yeah, it's amazing. I love what I do. I really love what I do, but it does take a lot of time and effort, but it's effort that I want to give. So yeah, there's a lot that goes behind it that people might not realize. Going back to that, actually, I remember quite a few people that have been around when I've been vlogging, on our travels or at home. And I remember my friend Amy saying, God, you literally do film non-stop. But that's how I capture it. That's how I do it. You are literally seeing my life through the lens with my vlogs. So yeah. Recently, I had a viewer ask me the difference between filming abroad versus at home. What do I prefer? Well, I definitely prefer filming abroad, truthfully, and it's because I'm experiencing something that I've not experienced before. It's super exciting for me, and I just love experiencing new places. So, of course, I prefer that aspect of it. However, when it comes to like the festive season, obviously, Vlogmas is a big part of my channel. It has been so far. We are going to be changing things up slightly this year, guys. So, obviously, expect changes this year to that. I know we're so early to be talking about Christmas, but we are halfway. So, I have to plan it. You are going to be seeing more of Vlogmas than you ever have before, but it's going to be in a different way. So, stay tuned for that. We will talk about that later down the line. But going back to the question, I do really, really enjoy filming those Christmassy autumnal moments at home with my little darling Nala, you know? We actually visited Scotland on the last Vlogmas series, and that was a lot of fun. We hadn't done, a travel Vlogmas episode really before, not that far away anyway, and it was so good to do. Really enjoyed that. Definitely something that we'll do in the future. And yeah, I think that was what made me think, you know what? Travel is our baby, you know? So yeah, my favourite vlog I've ever made and why is another question I get asked multiple times by different people. And it changes, if I'm honest. I think the Egypt series from 2022 will always carry a big place in my heart. For one, it was where a lot of you met me for the very first time. Two, it was a big trip that I never knew would start this journey for us. And three, Egypt's our happy place. But I'll be honest with you, I was recently, because I'm prepping things for the 3 year of JFR Productions episode that I'm bringing to my channel, and I have been watching some of the ones that you guys may not have seen because they never made it to YouTube. And I feel really nostalgic about those. I really do. They feel really warm and friendly, and I was dipping my toes in and I wasn't really sure about what I was doing, and but it worked, and I really, really enjoy watching those back. So I kind of feel like those are my favorites. But if we're going to talk about what you guys have seen, I really, really love our New York series from the start of this year. Really loved that. That was an incredible trip. We spent New Year's there, and I had a lot of fun filming that with Ash, and he did too. So I think it changes, but we'll go with New York today. Ask me next time. um, there's also a question here: a vlog you filmed and nearly didn't upload. Oh, so I've got a couple of vlogs that I haven't ever uploaded, obviously. Just because timings didn't work, or it didn't slot in, or it just never saw the light of day. I didn't end up finishing it, you know. Um, but there was a London visit that we did this year. It was a complete fail there. We failed completely. We missed what we were doing, not just down to us, but down to something that was going on at the time. And I almost didn't upload it. I thought I wouldn't have enough footage, but I thought, let's go with it. I began editing it, and it turns out it was a 30-minute vlog. So sometimes you've got to just go with it and roll with the punches, you know? Um, so yeah, I guess that one would be probably what would answer your question. Going back through my comments box on YouTube, I receive a lot, and I'm talking a lot, of questions about my little fur baby Nala, because let's be honest, she is the ultimate star of this show. And whilst I scrolled through my comment section, I found two really nice questions about Nala and how she deals with JFR Productions. And one of the ones was from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. How she reacts to the camera, and does she miss you when you're editing your vlogs? So, as you know, Nala adores the camera. Whenever I film at home, she's there. She's there with me. She likes to make her appearance. She often comes down when I'm doing my members only videos. She loves that, and they love to see her, which is really nice. In regards to editing, she usually just perches up and sleeps. She uses that time to rest after all the filming. Another question was, this one is from Claire. Thank you, Claire. Why she had to be the voice of the podcast outro. Well, that's because she is my heart through and through. It goes deeper than that. Anyone that has a pet will know they're a friend. They're a best friend that nobody else could be. So when I was thinking about this podcast, I wanted to include Nala in some way because, as I say, a lot of what I do, well, all of what I do, has an element of me in it in some way. And I wanted Nala to be the star of this. So when I was recording the intro to Stay Happy, the podcast, Nala was sitting beside me and purring so loudly. So I literally flipped the mic round and she sat there purring into it. And I thought, oh my God, I've captured this moment in time. And there was something so special about it. And I thought, right, how can I add this in? How can I add this in? So I thought she can close each podcast with her gorgeous purring. And I think it works really well. On top of that, I actually read that a cat's purr is a real calming thing for a human. So obviously Stay Happy is a place where we sit down, we chat, and we have those calm moments away from the camera. Something a little bit less chaotic. A cat's purr is the perfect way to make us relax. And obviously it's my Nala. So yeah, that is why she had to be the voice of the podcast outro. I hope that answers your questions. Yeah, I love that, and it's cemented. Do you know what I mean? It's cemented into this, and something for me to look back on in years to come. Okay, I'm going to dedicate this section of the podcast to real life. And one of the things we're going to talk about is that moment when you talk to the camera in public and instantly regret it. So, surprisingly, looking back, I am not embarrassed to vlog in public. I'm just not. And that is what tells me I'm so ready for this. You know, I'm so ready for it. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been. I would have felt very self conscious and maybe slightly embarrassed. But these days, I don't care about that. I'm not bothered about feeling embarrassed. However, when I switch that camera on, all I can see is that camera and you guys. Everything else around me is like a blur. So even if there were people laughing, I'm not seeing it. So it's like, yeah, it's almost like I literally go into my own little JFR bubble, and everything else around me can continue when I've switched that camera off. But so yeah, I'm not embarrassed to pick that camera up in the public. I know a lot of people that are. One of my friends, I know that they are. But that's all right. Everyone's different. Everyone is different. So yeah. Which leads me on to how I've built confidence over time, or moments that I still feel awkward. Truthfully, I've got to a place where I do feel very confident about what I do. Um, I began this not to see how far it went. I didn't begin this for money. I didn't begin this because I wanted to build up a huge audience. That wasn't what was important to me. What was important was documenting my memories from 30 onwards to the end. And I know that's really deep, but it's the truth. I speak about this quite a lot. My parents, they documented me up to the age of 30, and I wanted to take over that and and continue that, but with my life going forward. So that's what I did. I fell into YouTube just by accident, really. I had a YouTube channel with my younger sister going back 15, 20 years ago now, and I had a lot of fun doing it. So I did dip my toes into that before, but I did close that chapter. And I wasn't sure if it would ever come about again. I always had hopes that it would, but I didn't know what direction that would be. What we did back then, I knew wasn't me now, really. It was only when we were abroad in Egypt that I thought, I feel like others would like to see this. I felt they had to see it because it was such a beautiful place. And it turns out that the world loved seeing these countries through mine and Ash's eyes, which is truly incredible. And yeah, the community we've got here is, I love it. I love it. I know I say that so much and I've said it in this podcast already, but that's why I do this, and because I love it, not for anything else. And I think over time, you guys have probably helped me build my confidence. And I think the more you do things, it becomes like second nature. So I guess that's just built over time. So I've got a question here that I'm going to choose to answer with you guys today. There's actually two questions. How does it feel to share parts of your life with thousands of people online? Crazy. Crazy. I forget that though, if I'm honest. Like, I looked at my chat because basically when you have a YouTube channel, you can see your analytics. You can see who's watching, where they're watching, the age range. You can see how many views. You can see, all those different elements of it. And I checked recently, and I've got 600,000 views now on my channel, which blew my mind, actually. That is over 500,000. So over 500,000 people have watched JFR Productions, which I filmed a video 3 months into this journey that said 20,000 of you have watched. And to know that it's now sitting at that number blows my mind, even when I'm speaking about it right now. And from a day-to-day life point of view, I forget that, truthfully. I forget that. I forget that people have watched. And then it's only when, I've met some of you wonderful, wonderful people around, and you've approached myself and Ash and asked for a photo, and yeah, that is when I'm like, oh my God. But do you know what? What a flattering experience to have, So flattering. Time is important. Time is an important part of everyone's day. Time is something we don't get back. And the fact that you lot have invested your time into watching our adventures is something I will be forever grateful for and will never, ever take for granted. I'm so thankful for that. And yeah, words can't explain it. Words can't explain how grateful I am for all of you. So thank you. Okay, so someone has asked, how do I balance sharing with keeping some things just for myself? So, I am very open about my life, more so recently than ever before, actually. My PTSD video has done, very well in terms of feedback that I've got. I'm so happy that it's helped so many people. Just by watching that and me sharing that part, of myself. So, yeah, that means a lot to me. That video has done that. However, I do like to keep things very light on my channel. I like it to be your escape. I like it to be something you switch on and you can laugh, you can smile, about as you watch it. But there was an itch there of me wanting to, talk about the stuff that I don't talk about on camera. And that's where this podcast was born. I can talk to you like we're having a coffee, which is what I want this to be. This is our coffee hour. So I've realized I can actually do both on two different platforms, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. So, yeah. Those people that like a more light-hearted version of me can watch my vlogs, and those that want a deeper, more chatty type of Jack can come over to my podcasts and watch the vlogs, of course. Moving on, we spoke about this a little bit earlier, and it's little Easter eggs you've dropped recently, and if anyone's noticed. I don't know if anyone's noticed. Have you noticed? I have been dropping hints since, December? December, as to where one of our trips are. I'm sure there are some of you out there that have already worked it out. And if you haven't already worked it out, then there will be more little Easter egg hints coming throughout the year, as we are literally 5 months away now from me revealing about where that is. Oh my god, how are we only 5 months away from that? I am actually filming the first episode of that series in the next month or so with you guys, which I'm really excited but nervous about as well, because that is the ultimate decider as to whether this trip goes ahead or not. Ooh. But yeah, I like to do that. It keeps it fun for me. It keeps it exciting for you lot. I did that with New York. I announced it when I reached 1,000 subscribers last year. So I think it was April last year. I hit 1,000 subscribers, and at the end of it, I announced New York. It took me 3 months to edit that video, just to let you guys know. And if you want to watch it, it's on my channel now. It's the journey so far video. And it took me that many months to edit those little clips into a 30-minute video. I had to compile dates, I had to compile my subscriber count, all into that. And I did that by going back through my camera roll, because I keep everything. I'm a hoarder in this sense. When I started YouTube, when I got 1 subscriber and then it went to 10 subscribers, I screenshotted it because I couldn't believe it. And I would send those screenshots to my friends, to my family, and I'd say, oh my god, I've hit 10 subscribers. Oh my god, I've hit 18 subscribers, 100, 200, and so on. So each time I did that, that secured the date that it happened. So when I was editing this video, I had the video that I'm talking about. As I was slotting in the clips, because I did like a chronological sort of timeline version of clips in this video, and I would add in 100 subscribers, and then it would the next set of clips, and then 200 subscribers, and this video led up to the 1,000 subscriber mark. And then at the end of the video, it was me at present day at that time. And I thought, how can I announce this New York trip? How can I do it, in a really subtle but exciting way? And I found a newspaper which I bought from my trip to New York in 2007, which I actually went on with the school, with my old school. And I thought, let me just sit there, hold this New York Times newspaper up in front of me, and I will pull it down slowly so you guys could see the newspaper, and I would say nothing at all, and I think I did like, sort of thing, as if to, and ended with a smile, as if to say, that's the trip that you're waiting for. I know I'm so extra, and I said this on the Work It Weirdo podcast, which came out last week, which was so much fun. I said on there, Ash always says, Jack, you are so extra. You are so extra. But to me, that's what keeps it exciting. I don't want to be predictable because life isn't predictable. I'm not predictable. And I want to keep guessing. I want to keep you guessing, sorry. That wasn't very good English there, was it? I want to keep you guessing. I want to, make it exciting for my viewers. Expect the unexpected. You'll never know where we're going. 1 minute we're at an all-inclusive. The next minute I'm climbing a frigging mountain in Iceland. It's crazy and it's exciting and it's all about pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And yeah. So yes, those little Easter eggs are all in my every video probably that I've ever filmed has something, a little hint from the past, a little treat from the future. So yeah. Why do I feel like some of you are going to go back now and watch to see what that trip is? But yeah, my lips are staying sealed until the announcement. This is like the announcement of the announcement, isn't it? But yeah. So, hints about the big trip later this year. Okay, so without revealing it, it's a place I've always wanted to go. I've always found it an incredible country, very interesting, very quaint, but also very big. I found it mysterious. It's extremely exotic, but not in the way that you might think. It takes a long time to get there, and you're going to love it. That's all I can think. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Not many people have probably been there. I don't know what else to say, really. I guess you'll have to wait and see. But yes, we're going to have such a fun time there, hopefully. And of course, you're all coming along, like always, because you're great company. Which leads me on to my final talk for the day. Why I love the JFR community. You guys are magical. I've never met such supportive people in all my life. And I don't know about you lot, but I truly feel a connection with you through the screen and through this mic. I feel like you're here with me, and I feel like you're there with me when I'm away. And I know so many fandoms are special, but this one truly is. You're kind, you've all been through a lot. I've been through a lot, but we know we've got each other and we smile through it, and we still get up, brush ourselves off and look for the positives in the day. And that is like so special. Some of you guys have revealed your darkest secrets to me in my inbox and asked for advice and reached out. And do you know how much that hurts my heart, but in a good way? Like the fact you trust me with that, the fact that you've given me your heart like I've given you mine. I find it incredible, and I haven't got enough thank yous, hugs or kisses in me to give you that you truly deserve. So yeah, I just love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This isn't just my journey. This is our journey. And I'm loving it. Thanks for listening to the Stay Happy podcast. I hope today's episode gave you something to smile about, think about, or feel seen in. If it did, share it, tag me, and let someone else feel a little bit lighter too. This space is all about real life with a little JFR sparkle. Until next time, stay positive, keep talking, and of course, stay happy.